Rodgers narrative for years now. In fact, just this weekend, he said he doesn't know if the future is in his hands. Take a listen.
Yeah, so far it's definitely been my team. I said last year I didn't know if that was actually possible to be able to finish there. I still feel like that's kind of where we're at. I mean, I don't know that a lot of that's in my hands, but I guess we'll kind of see as we go.
Well, when you say things like that, then he just said it's not in his hands. He might be right. Like things get misinterpreted. Wouldn't you like to just proclaim, I'm there, I'm your guy. I want to keep throwing for Lombardi Avenue all day.
Ken, you and I both know that's not how it works.
No. Like Russell Wilson. He just answered a question.
Yeah. I'm not, necessarily going to approach it like how some of that stuff came out. But look, like I said last year, there's things that are just out of my control. The team has obviously the power to do what they want. My job is just to play as well as I can. I think there may have been, ideas about what certain things meant in the last year. I just focused on my play, went out and played really well, won MVP, and I've been having a hell of an off season. So that's kind of what's been going on with me.
The old wood paneling on the ceiling. Great. Greg Jennings, you spent 7 seasons with Aaron Rodgers. You hear what he said, how he answered the question. You think these comments leave you more or less convinced that everything is okay in Green Bay?
Well, Jenna, I'm not convinced that everything's okay in Green Bay from the standpoint of Aaron Rodgers' future and that being solidified. I do believe and I do understand how this works when it comes to organizations and for players. We all know, Brandon, you know this very well. Teams play chess, and any great chess player or any chess player that has any information or idea on how to play the game of chess, you don't play move by move without knowing what it is you want to do and how you're going to anticipate moving forward. And that's right. Organizations in the NFL. They know exactly what they want to do and how they foresee the future. Do they want Aaron Rodgers right now? I do believe, yes, they want him right now. But they drafted Jordan Love. They moved up in the draft to acquire a guy who they felt like would be the heir apparent. And so when you do and you make chess moves like that, you are saying that I got to see this guy play. So the future is uncertain for Aaron Rodgers as far as and in terms of him being a lifer for the Green Bay Packers. Would he like to be? Yes, he said that. And are they saying some things that align with that? Yes, but the action doesn't always meet right there in the middle. And so, Brandon, for me, I just don't see it. I think it's an uncertain future for Aaron Rodgers. And I think he is saying it himself. He's fully aware of how this stuff works.
Hey, Greg, you know what I think Aaron Rodgers is really saying right now? He's saying, check. That's what he's saying. This is the perfect playbook for a guy who has all the leverage. Aaron Rodgers knows he has all the leverage. He doesn't have to say anything. How many times do we hear an athlete say, you know what, I just play ball, my agent handles all the business. But behind the scenes, you're sitting at the table, you're orchestrating everything, you know what's going on, and that's what Aaron Rodgers is doing. We saw this kid in practice. We know he can't replace me anytime soon. I don't even think they feel they can probably develop the kid. So Aaron Rodgers is sitting here saying, you know what, this is what I want. So I think they're in odds when it comes to what they're looking for. Are they looking for a 4-year deal? Are they looking for a 2-year deal? Guarantee money? That's what this is about. I go back to February 1st when Coach Matt LaFleur came out and he made his comment. He said, this guy's here for a long time. This is what he said. So this is how you know the deal's going to get done. Is that a trick question when we was asked about Aaron Rodgers' future? Absolutely, LaFleur said. There's no doubt about it. You're talking about the guy that's going to win the MVP of the league. We're not in this position without him. So I couldn't be happier with not only his performance, but how he led this football team. All the little things he does within that locker room to ensure that everybody is locked in, focused, and ready to go. So yeah, absolutely, he will be here for a long time. I know I've said it before, but for a long time. Greg, Nick, this guy isn't going anywhere. This is him saying check and trying to figure out if the the Packers are going to step up and give him what he wants?
Well, then they should trade Jordan Love, because this is going to be an issue as long as Jordan Love is on the roster. Like, this is not complicated. You either trade Jordan Love or you recognize that Aaron Rodgers' future is going to continue to be a discussion point. If you're one that believes in distractions, it'll continue to be a distraction for the organization, and it's going to continue to be an issue. This isn't complex. Jenna mentioned that there was, there had been simmering tension for years in Green Bay, and that's right. But the tension seemingly was about Rodgers and McCarthy, and then we had questions about Rodgers and LaFleur initial relationship, but it seemed to go great. They went 13-3, had home field advantage, or they went 13-3 and went to the NFC Championship game. But then they traded up to draft Jordan Love. And once that happened, that's when we started questioning his future. So, Greg, if the Packers really, if Rodgers does have the leverage, and the Packers really do want to commit to him, then cut your losses on Jordan Love. Listen, it was a bad draft pick. Can you get a second rounder for him? Maybe. Can you get a third rounder for him? Definitely, because he's only a year removed from being a late first rounder on most people's boards. And you cut your losses and you move on. But if you don't do that, then what you're going to have is the league MVP consistently adding a little fuel to the fire that, to be fair to Rodgers, Greg, they started. He did not start this fire. It was started by drafting Jordan Love, and until they put that fire out, it's going to continue to be there and flare up at times.
I 100% agree with you, Nick. Aaron Rodgers is not the type of guy that you can kind of set a fire and put it to flame, and then he doesn't add to that because of what you've already put in motion. But when we talk about Jordan Love, and I want to emphasize this, the Green Bay Packers, they're unlike a lot of organizations. They draft players to develop them. So they want to see Jordan Love, not only on the practice field that they're getting the opportunity to evaluate his play, but they want to see him on the game field. And I just don't believe that the Green Bay Packers are going to pack up Jordan Love, a talent that they moved up in the draft to draft, and then just say, oh, you know what, a team offer me something for him without ever being able to see him on the field. I just don't see that happening.
And let's not forget, who else did they develop? Aaron Rodgers, who sat behind Brett Favre for a while there while he was developing. All right, look at that. Kevin Wild's got himself a brand new segment. It's called Weird and Wonderful. Take it away, Kevin.
I got super into baseball this weekend, Jenna. First up, weird heads up. Angels, White Sox, 2 out, bottom of third, pop up. Tim Anderson's like, I got it, don't worry about it. Luis Roberts like, no, I got it. Ball bounced off my head. Little Jose Canseco action here. Key to the Jose Canseco when the ball bounced off of his head, he actually blamed it on his glove. Can't take your hat off and rub your head. Looks bad. Next up, here's something that happened yesterday that we haven't seen in 100 years. Ohtani pitching and hitting, and not just like adequately. He threw 100 miles an hour plus, fastest pitch of the year. It's like, okay, that was pretty good. What should I do when I get up? Hello, blammo. Highest exit velocity of the year. So if you're keeping track at home, he threw the fastest pitch and hit the hardest home run. Ended up getting hurt covering home plate in the 5th inning. But overall, historic and just general awesome moment. Oh, what's next, Katanic?
Impressive.
After this beautiful month, that was fantastic. Oh, here's a good one. Angels, Astros, 1 out in the 7th. Oh, darn it all, I popped out. That's terrible. Wrong. You end up getting an RBI because Altuve scores from third base on a pop-up to second.
This was amazing.
You can hate the Astros if you want. They're 4-0, and Altuve plays the game the right way, except, when they're hearing pitches from the banging garbage can. But other than that, this is just an overall play. I'm rooting for Altuve. And finally,
that's an amazing
John Boy Media if you want to see this wonderful breakdown. Castellanos gets hit by a pitch. He's like, all right,
charge the mound
because I hit a home run a few days ago. He ends up getting around to third, wild pitch. He gets home, flexes on the pitcher. That's right, boom. Woo. Everybody gets mad, even though Russell Westbrook would do that after, a dunk down by 20. And then at some point, he talks about Yadi Molina. They have a little face-to-face, and this is what he said post-game about the ultimate respect he had for Yadi.
But like I said, yo, like, that guy could have punched me in the face. I still ask him for a signed jersey. But, you know, like, I got nothing but respect for that cat, bro. He's a real one.